Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1993 AN. Today's date is October 11th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Central Banks Push Fear, Deal Close, Economy About to Change. Now, before we get started, I want to talk about Trump's Freedom Coin. When Noble Gold released this solid silver Trump 2020 Freedom Coin, they had no idea how successful President Trump would be or how much interest there would be in their coins. They are now releasing this stunning brand new Commander-in-Chief design to the world. Be the envy of your friends or buy them as well, and treat yourself to one of these fabulous souvenirs today. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com and use the code X22 Report to save $5 off per coin. This is a limited time offer, so make sure to get yours today. So go to TrumpCoin2020.com, use the code X22 Report to receive the $5 off per coin. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, the central bankers, they're doing what they do best. And what they like to do when they can't control a situation, they like to push fear. And this is exactly what we're seeing out in the UK. The central bank is now projecting that if the BREXIT happens, the country would go into recession. The unemployment rate would skyrocket. People would lose jobs left and right. The fear-mongering will intensify as we get closer to October 31st. So what the central bank did, they indicated that Ireland could be facing another recession if the UK leaves the EU without a deal. If a no Brexit deal is realized, the effect will be felt in the early part of 2020 in all areas of the economy. And they put out a forecast, of course, made a couple of charts with dashed lines, and they said, this is what happens if we have a Brexit deal. This is what happens if we don't have a Brexit deal. And if you stay with the EU, everything would be just absolutely fine. And what they're saying here is that through their forecasts, you would see unemployment, it would rise from 5.3% to 6.9% in 2021. GDP growth would decline. Now, think about what the deep state, what the central bank is saying here. If you don't follow our plan and you don't make a deal in the best interest of the EU, your entire country is going to go into a recession. But if you stay with the central bank and you make an incredible deal, which does not benefit the people, your country will be fine. And what I like to do is I like to bring us back to when the central bankers took us off the gold standard. This is back in 1970-71. Now, back then, did they tell us that, hey, listen, when we take you off the gold standard, you're going to be going into a recession. There'll be long gas lines. People won't be able to find jobs. And it'll be tough for many, many people. No, they didn't say this. They said everything is going to be fantastic. Actually, they didn't say anything. You know why? Because they didn't tell anyone. They said, oh, look, there's an oil crisis. That's why we have a problem. Who created the oil crisis? Oh, that's right. The central bank, the deep state. Go back to the 70s, from 73 to 75. In the UK, they had an oil crisis. There was stagflation. People had no jobs. The average inflation was 9.2% in 73, 16% in 74, 24% in 75. Think about this. This is what happened when the central bankers put us on their system. Now, yes, in the beginning, they make it seem like it's incredible. This is going to benefit everybody. And those people in the beginning, they feel like it does. But as soon as we went on their system, the currency lost value. That's why you saw inflation. That's why you saw your homes go up. That's why you saw your salaries go up. It wasn't because you were making more. It had to readjust. It's almost like taking a wheelbarrow of cash to buy a cup of coffee. Do you feel like that's a good situation? Well, isn't it the same situation when we came off the gold standard? You needed more cash to purchase the same exact thing. To do the same work, you received more dollars. But did that benefit you? Not really, because everything else went up. You see what happened here? And think about the United States. This was 1969 to 1975. The United States was in a recession, of course. They said the same thing. We have an oil crisis. We had lines at the gas station. Red, green flags, odd, even plates. That's when you can fill up. Remember, they were transferring us from a gold standard system onto a complete fiat system that was backed by the petrodollar, where the deal was made out in the Middle East. And it took time to adjust. And when you came off something that was solid, sound money, well, you saw this. Now we're going the other way. Think about it. We're coming from this broken down, unreliable fiat system. Are we seeing the 16% inflation now? Are we seeing 8% interest rates, 10% interest rates, because they needed to do that to combat the inflation? Are we seeing that? Are wages increasing or doubling like we saw back, or tripling that we saw back in the 70s? No. Actually, everything's going the opposite way. So when we make this transition this time, it's going to be a little bit tougher. And this is why Trump and the Patriots, this is why they've been pushing to create an economy that will be able to withstand the entire transition move. They're trying to make it as painless as possible. Now, can they make it completely painless? No, that's completely impossible. A lot of people, it's going to take them by surprise. But they're going to do the best they possibly can. And the only way to do this is to undo everything that they have done. Now, Trump, the Patriots, they are now controlling the economic narrative. Here in the United States, UMich Confidence Survey has soared. And the consumer sentiment data was a huge upside surprise as consumers anticipate larger income gains and lower inflation. Now, when we look at this, the consumer sentiment rose from 93 to 96. For current economic conditions, the index rose from 108.5 to 113.4. Expectations index rose from 83.4 to 84.8. What does this mean? This means that the people in the United States believe the economy is on the right track. Trump has made the economy incredible. Now remember, he's using all the weapons that the deep state, the central bankers, have been using on the people for a very long time. He's using it against the deep state and the central bank. He needs to make the economy look like it's incredible. He's doing this on purpose. He made it incredible. Some other entity, the Fed, will destroy it. And this will allow him to point the finger. And the big driver is the real income expectations. They rose to their most favorable level in 2 decades. Think about that. The White House tweeted out the following. Remember, Trump was in Minneapolis. They tweeted out 13,000 new construction jobs, 3,000 new manufacturing jobs, jobless rate down 4% to 3.3%. Minnesotans are winning under Trump, letting everyone know, look how great your economy is. Now, Trump has been meeting with the Chinese. Remember, the Chinese are buying more pork. The U.S. has more leverage over the Chinese. And Trump tweeted out the following. Good things are happening at China Trade Talk meeting. Warmer feelings than in recent past. More like the old days. I'll be meeting with the Vice Premier today. All would like to see something significant happen. He continued, one of the great things about China deal is that the fact that the various reasons we do not have to go through the very long and politically complex congressional approval process. When the deal is fully negotiated, I sign it myself on behalf of our country. Fast and clean. And he's absolutely right. If it had to go to Congress, it would be sitting next to the USMCA. And that basically would go nowhere. This way, he can make a deal with China. Now, the question is, why is China warmer? Think about it. They're watching everything play out in the United States. They're not stupid. They know what's going on. They understand that all these candidates, they don't have a chance. They understand that Trump and the Patriots, They have the upper hand. They already see that there's no way these other individuals are going to win. This is why they're warming up. Now, as we approach the end of this year, moving into next year, they're going to say, okay, we better make something. Remember, Trump has warned them, if you don't make a deal with us, it's going to be tougher when I'm elected president. And as we get closer and closer, we're going to see things change. Now, Trump is set to announce a partial China deal. Now, think about what is going to happen once he makes a partial China deal. The market is going to skyrocket. All this talk about tariffs and everything else, well, guess what? That's going to disappear. And he's also looking to suspend tariffs right now, not implement tariffs on China. And since he said he was doing that, what did we see happening in the market? The market took off. This is all part of the plan. And people, they're sitting back and waiting. Now remember, once Trump makes this deal, what's going to happen with the central bankers around the world saying trade is the problem? Because nothing's going to change. The entire system is going to be flooded with debt, which is completely unsustainable. What is going to be their excuse now? He's setting up the central bank. Now, the Fed the other day announced that they're going to start QE. Remember, they're independent. Nobody tells them what to do. And they said they were going to start QE very soon, and it looks like they've started QE, even though they're not calling it QE. They don't want to call it QE. It doesn't matter what they call it. All you have to do is look at the facts of what they're doing. What they're going to do, the Fed is going to purchase on a monthly basis about $60 billion for 4 months, split across treasury bills and short maturity coupon treasuries, in order to replenish the roughly $200 billion reserve shortfall and support the pace of growth in non-reserve liabilities. This is going to start October 15th. Do you think this is going to end in 4 months? No. They take a chunk at a time and they see what happens. What does this mean? This means that Trump and the patriots, they have total control of the economy. We're going to see another rate cut. Stimulus is starting. The market's going to skyrocket. Trump is going to control the economic narrative going into the 2020 election. They won't be able to stop him at this point. And as we move forward, and once Trump wins, the entire economic system is about to change. And it's going to change for the benefit of the people. Yes, it's going to be a bumpy ride. But on the other side, it's going to be incredible. Once you remove the central bank system from the country, and you don't deal with them, they don't create the currency, they don't fund the corrupt government employees, because all dollars have to be accounted for, the system will flourish. And that is where we're headed. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.